Is going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to another edition of On the Road to Victory. I'm your host, Jimmy Smith, and I am a little bit pumped up tonight. That's right. We are once again talking about the Eagles defense. And, I was just on vacation for a week, and it was quite enjoyable getting to spend time with the family. I really had a great time. I hope you guys are all enjoying my time off here. Try to provide you with some things, Craig James being released. And obviously this morning while I was unpacking, I saw, the unveiling of the black helmet. So trying to keep up with things, but hope you didn't miss me too much. But yeah, let's keep it real here. It's Friday night, ready to party. So let's go. I appreciate all of you taking the time on this beautiful Friday night to talk some birds with me. And, one of the things we've been talking about all off season and, before the season even ending, last season, the strife with Jonathan Gannon. A lot of people, don't like him, but I thought the ideas were great. Personnel was lacking. So we talked about adding a nose tackle, Sam linebacker, multiple inside linebackers, a corner, safety, all those things. The Eagles went ahead and did that. So very pumped up about it. Going to break it down, and we're going to do just like we've done every position. But this time, I've got multiple positions in here because a lot of these guys are versatile, and we're just going to take the front seven on as a whole. We're going to look, and even sometimes front six, whatever it is. But we're going to look, and I'm going to explain the schemes that the Eagles ran last season. There's just a lot of confusion out there about what the Eagles, the Eagles are switching defense. They're not switching. They already ran predominantly 50% of the time odd fronts last season. So, they've already been doing these things, and I don't know what reporters or people are watching, not watching, I guess. But this is why it was so important to add the players that we did. So very excited about it. Hope you guys are very excited about it. So thank you very much again for tuning in. And if you have any questions, any comments about whatever it is, please feel free to let me know. But we're going to get this bad boy started. Got some comments here first. The vacation was fantastic, Randall. I mean, I couldn't ask for a better time. It really was just a fantastic time. And at one point, I even got a little alone time with the woman, got to go down to the beach, get a little crispy and enjoy our time, man. That sun was blazing, man. So had a great time. I really did. But the kids had a ball, man. There was an arcade in the damn hotel. It was pure insanity, man. They even found, of course, a PC gaming thing where they could play PC gaming for an hour. I'm like, really? This is what you want to? But it was great. It really was. So I appreciate you asking, man. Hope you had a great week and hope you're ready for training camp coming on Tuesday. I'm pretty damn pumped up about it. Finally switching from a fight. Yeah. JC, it's been driving me nuts. Something I've been trying to explain this whole offseason, and somebody tagged me and introduced me to the Honest NFL account, somebody that apparently had worked for the Eagles, and something they apparently have been trying to get across to people as well. With the odd fronts we ran, there's excitement to be had, right? So we're going to talk about that excitement. I hope you guys are excited. You see the positions here that we're going to talk about, and I'm going to break down what these guys can do, and I'm even going to show you the multiple schemes first so you understand what I'm talking about. Let's go. You know it, Randall, my man. Glad you got someone. Yeah, man. And, the entire trip was, almost catered pretty much to doing whatever they want, which is awesome, man. They're kids. That's what matters most. But, it is vacation. You would like some real vacation time. And we did. We had a great time. I couldn't have asked for a better time, man. And yes, JC, it was you who tagged me. I was trying to think if it was you or my other buddy on there. But yes, you're my man. And this guy, we got to talk in the messages a little bit, and he is really a great guy and really has helped me out with some things, some information I would like that people have, access to. A lot of people just post stats and stuff, and, that gets people's attention. It's like, all right, if that's what you want. Okay, give me that, and let's see who can dance then. So this guy's awesome. So I can't thank you enough, dude. JC, I'll never forget you, man. And the conversations we had, this guy's pretty cool. I try to get him on the damn show, but he likes staying, behind the curtain, and I'm cool with that, man. I really am. So I appreciate just, him helping me out today. Even I had to ask him a question. So appreciate you doing that. But something, I stressed was why the Eagles needed to take Jordan Davis with that first pick. And that's something apparently he was doing too, and why we needed to add Hassan Reddick. So it was really cool to see somebody that's actually worked in the NFL, understanding what I've been trying to throw out there, because it just seems like there's a lot of confusion from the people that are supposed to be explaining things to people, and they're just making more people confused, because it's not other people's jobs to find out about this stuff. You know what I mean? So it's like, but stop. The misinformation needs to stop. It does. But definitely check it out, my man. He's a cool dude. He's definitely got great information he's putting out there. So yeah, he's awesome. Now, let's get into this, ladies and gentlemen. I hope your weekend's off to a great start. If not, it's about to begin right now. Let's go. So, first and foremost, we've talked about these multiple schemes before. We're going to brush up on it again. So, most people are thinking, okay, we're switching defense. We're a 4-3, right? That's the base defense. Incorrect. That is not what the Eagles ran last year. But if they were, and they will run this, they will. I promise you, because they did last year. But this is not the base defense. This was not what we predominantly ran. So to hear it's changing is ridiculous. Now, some people are going to say, hey, Josh Sweat should be starting down there instead of Brandon Graham. That's great. Brandon Graham's back. Love the man, so I put him there. That's fine. We got a great rotation. The whole purpose of this is just to show what this personnel can do, what each personnel in each scheme can do. We're going to explain a lot of things. You have any questions, feel free to ask. But this is what everybody thinks of. Okay, 4-3. I'm down with that. And TJ Edwards will get his time. He is a run stuffing machine. But the reason we added a lot of these other players was due to the fact that we wanted to run other schemes. Now, the scheme we ran the most last year, I believe around 41% of the time, was nickel. And we have talked about this extensively. You will be running nickel most of the time in today's NFL. So, Avonte Maddox, we will consider a starter because this dude will be getting a lot of snaps. So, don't care. I'm just saying this because people are always trying to, hey, look. It's like, dude, I get it. I do. So you see here, you've got Hassan Reddick. This is important. Okay, you have Hassan Reddick lined up as a defensive end. He is a pass rusher. I love it. But the reason we added Hassan Reddick was due to the fact that he is very, very versatile. And we're going to get into that in a second. But the reason I want to show this is people, okay, why is Jordan Davis not there? Losing your mind. I get it. But there are different variations of all of these schemes. So you could have an under front where maybe you have Jordan Davis in there rather than Javon Hargrave. You can move these guys all over the place, but you can have guys like Joshua in there instead of Graham. You can move these dudes around. Now, the thing I love up above there is the cornerbacks or the linebackers that we have. We talked about the corners, having those three guys in today's NFL is huge, but the two linebackers being able to stop the run and also cover less linebackers on the field, less linemen on the field, and more secondary. So in today's NFL, that is a passing league, you're going to see more of that. So why do we add Jordan Davis? Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Eagles base defense. So you see the 3-4 here, and oh yeah. Now, these aren't exactly lined up how they are. The reason Reddick and Sweat are above them are to show that they are standing up. Okay, so we have stand-up rushers. We have guy like Hassan Reddick, a Sam linebacker on that strong side. So he could be on the left or the right, whatever the strong side is, he will be lined up there. So now this is a very versatile defense, so he could line up wherever the hell he wants. But just showing you this base. So we talk about, Josh Sweat playing that weak side linebacker in a 3-4. An outside linebacker in a 3-4 is essentially a defensive end. Now, there's big differences. Go check out those videos from before. I'm going to try to explain it as much as I can here today, but I don't want to waste too much time in detail. But you guys should get it by now that tune in here. If you're a newcomer, go check out those old videos. But trying to show here the versatility of this team. So now you've got Jordan Davis. You could have him, okay, in this base defense. You've got him as that zero shade, that one technique guy. Then you have Javon Hargrave and Fletcher Cox as your 5 technique defensive ends. These guys are beasts, all 3 of them. You are going to stop the run with 3 linemen. Now, you've got guys like Hassan Reddick, who, as a Sam linebacker, is going to be lining up in the 7 technique outside of the tight end. So what you want to do there is you can have him rush, you can have him drop into coverage, but keep in mind, we're going through. So Josh Sweat on the other side, predominantly going to be rushing. He is not going to be dropping the coverage. Maybe you got some trickery up your sleeve. You see that a couple times, but for the most part, this guy is coming after you. So you love that. Now, you've got Kaiser White, Nakobe Dean. We talked about their coverage skills, but they're also run stoppers. So they can fill those A and B gaps that are left by that big gap. Because obviously this picture, I had to try to fit everyone in, and I'm trying to explain that this isn't exactly how it's going to look when they're lined up because it'll be a little more spread out. That's why a 5 technique, that just means that if you guys understand the numbers, it goes from 1 to the outside, you're talking about from 1 to 7. When I mentioned that is the tight end. So 1 to 5 would be the other tackle. 6 is outside the tackle. So, just trying to explain what these pieces are, why we added them. So you see right here, you've got Davis, Reddick, Dean, White. Then obviously the secondary is shown here. We're talking about the front 7 here, but you see the additions and what they mean to this defense. I also try to throw in, I don't care about the safeties. Marcus Epps could be a starter. That's great. I love that there's competition between Tart, Epps, and Harris. Maybe Kayvon Wallace could step it up this offseason. I don't know. But I love the fact that we have a 3-4 here, ladies and gentlemen. And look, we had it last year, and people keep trying to tell, we're changing. We're not changing anything, because for the love of God, we ran this last year, and we ran the 3-4 22% of the time last year. So a good amount. And then the next one I'm about to show you, we ran 28% of the time, which is another odd front. So 50% of the time you got just these 2 odd fronts. That's not to count the other ones we've thrown in, but just talking predominantly about the most run schemes by the Eagles last season, and you're going to see a lot of them. So another one that we saw a hefty amount of, and more than our base 3-4, and that's again because you want to be in that nickel. And that just means throwing in that nickel cornerback. So you essentially take away Josh Sweat, you throw in Avonte Maddox. Now, this is all dependent on what you want to do with these linebackers, but there are many, again, variations of these schemes, 3-4, 3-5, where you're lining these guys up. I mean, Hargrave, Cox, they can go in as 3 techniques. They don't have to be 5 techniques. You can have Reddick come down. He can be an outside rusher. Again, don't just look at this picture and, okay, that's where he has to line up. But if you're in something like a 3-3-5 stack, then you are literally stacking how it's almost pictured here. So I don't necessarily think you would have Hassan Reddick in that one, but that speaks to the versatility of this team. Maybe you throw in a Davian Taylor, Sean Bradley, depending on who makes this team. But you look at that secondary, you look at that front 6 here. I think, honestly, people are sleeping on this damn defense. I can't speak about it enough. And I've been trying all damn off season. And I really think there should be some excitement out there, because this defense had its struggles last year, but by the end of the year, I believe they were 8th in points allowed and 9th in yards allowed. I might have that flip-flop if the old brain doesn't work exactly like it used to, but regardless, top 10 in both. And we know how mightily they struggled at the beginning of the season, making Derek Carr look like he's effing Tom Brady out there. So a lot of struggles, man, and I did not like to see it. But we talked about the lack of personnel. Having Fletcher Cox as a nose tackle, he's not a zero shade, one technique guy. That's not him. That's not him at all. So love the dude, and I think he's going to flourish now that you have someone like Jordan Davis. People talk about Jordan Davis not starting over him, or he's going to start over him, or this, that. Fletcher Cox is going to fail. I strongly disagree. I think that Fletcher Cox is going to flourish because of Jordan Davis being there in the middle and being next to him, and then Hargrave on the other side, and then outside of them with Reddick, Sweat, or Barnett, or Graham. Graham, not so much in the 3-4. So that's why I wanted to give him some love in those nickel even fronts with the 4-3. So you saw there, I showed you the top 3 schemes that the Eagles ran last year, and that was the nickel, which we talk about with the even front. Now you see that this was actually the last one. So let's show you the second nickel, but with an odd man front. That is what you're going to see the most this year, I believe. And yeah, it was 28% last year, but we talk about lack of personnel and why you needed to add these guys. So yes, you're going to see the base 3-4 a lot, but that 3-3-5 is going to be, it's going to be fun. I can promise you, we talked about Davis, Reddick, White, all those guys before we got them, because they are very important to the success of this defense. So I'm looking forward to it, man. Really am. Didn't know work with the Eagles. He does. He puts out great content. And I can't thank you enough for pointing me in his direction. Concerned at all about Graham coming off his Achilles? I'm not. I think that with the depth we have here, and you're going to see as I go a little bit further into this, there's going to be some fun stuff here, and I think that he's going to produce because he's in a perfect role, like Chris Long, just like Michael Bennett when we won the Super Bowl. You had a rotation. So that is going to be Brandon Graham's role. I don't think, and he's an anomaly at that size. He can play inside that 5 technique, 3 technique, even sometimes inside those odd fronts. So it sucked to lose him last year, but he was one of the guys that could actually do something. So it was a bummer, but I think it's going to be exciting. 3-4 looks like a 5-2. And yeah, man, it's kind of essentially the thought process. And the thing of it is when you guys remember those older shows I explained, those guys put their hands in the dirt. They could create themselves a 4-3. They can turn into a 5-2. So many options here. So go check those shows out where I explain all of the different schemes. We've already talked about all these before, but in case you've ever missed it, just want to break all this down and make sure everybody is up to date. But yeah, that 5-2, you have guys that can play defensive end in Josh Sweat and Hassan Reddick as outside linebackers. You're going to see a lot of fun, man. They're going to be going after the quarterback most of the time, but with Reddick being so versatile and with some of these other guys we're going to talk about being versatile, being able to drop in coverage, think there is a lot of excitement to be had, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, I explained all that, and I love that you're seeing it. You know what I mean? There's excitement to be had here, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to stop the run, the pass, all of the things, and that we lacked last year. See, TJ as more of an Nakobe's backup at middle linebacker, and Davion more of a weak side, not in a 4-3. That's why I showed it like that, and that's why he is the backup to those guys as inside linebackers. That's how I have it. If you were able to see those graphics back there, he is the backup to both White and Dean in those situations because those guys are going to be the starters. They can stop the run and cover, whereas TJ Edwards kind of lacks in the coverage department. Great run stopper. That's why I talked about that earlier. In a 4-3, he will be the middle, but he can play strong, weak. We talked about that in that show earlier. So, yep, a lot of versatility. So you love to see it. But I hear what you're saying, JC. Need Avonte Maddox. Oh, yeah, man. That's why he is there. And that's why I said you're going to see that one the most. You're going to see Avonte. What is going on, my man? Yo, nice to see you. It was great chatting with you today. I'm glad to be back. Sorry you missed the show earlier. Hopefully you got to see some of it, but I'm glad to be back, ready to roll. Night in the sky and in the house, dude. Let's go. Let's go. All right, man. That should be my new catchphrase. Yeah, I'm all about it. And yo, man, I appreciate your support. I really do. And I know you missed a little bit, but we're still rolling through this. All we did was show the multiple schemes, and not sure if you missed any of that. And we're going to talk about Davion and a lot of these guys coming up, but you did not miss any of the players. So we're going to keep it rolling, man. But I was showing the schemes. This is the one we ran the most last year at 41%. And then we ran the 3-3-5 at 28%. And I talked about why we needed to add Davis, Dean, White, all those guys. And I think that's why you'll see this one predominantly. And then 3-4 will be the base. We ran 50% of the time odd fronts. So you're going to see a lot of odd fronts, especially now that you have a real nose tackle. So that's what we're jumping into first, the interior defensive lineman. And, a lot of people, oh, he's replacing Cox, Jordan Davis. Oh, my God. No, he's not. He is actually playing a completely different role. So they're going to work together, and I cannot wait to see it. So not sure where the confusion is, but this guy is a monster. So you're looking at a 6'6" man. It makes Fletcher Cox look like a baby. So, yeah, they're going to be working together. And you see those three there. Those are going to be the ones that you see with the most snaps. Now, we don't leave anyone out here. We're taking a look at everyone on this damn roster, checking out who the competition is. But you've got guys like Milton Williams who were drafted to be a part of the future. He is going to replace Fletcher Cox. I believe Hargrave could see himself getting an extension here, hopefully soon, but it would be great to have him for the next few years. Now, Jordan Davis, we know is the nose tackle. We talked about that. The only other real nose tackle we have is Noah Ellis. Now, the crazy thing about all these guys is they've dabbled as nose tackles when it comes to Rennell Wren, added from Cincinnati this offseason, Marvin Wilson. You've got guys that can actually, they tried to dabble, and that's why they're on this roster. But now that we've got Jordan Davis, yeah, we don't need those guys to dabble. And Noah Ellis, maybe because of the fact that he's the only other real nose tackle, zero shade guy that you would actually, consider a backup to Jordan Davis, maybe he finds himself a roster spot. But there is some competition there, but those top three are going to dominate, and Milton Williams is going to see so many snaps because I've talked about his damn versatility, and he gets to play that defensive tackle in 4-3, but defensive end in the 3-4. Don't want to see him as a nose tackle, but with that versatility as a 3 technique, 5 technique, you can move him all over the damn place. So Milton Williams is one of my favorite guys to watch for the future of this team. I think there is some excitement to be had when it comes to him. Now, talked about the interior guys. The edge rushers get to flourish because of the fact that you have a Jordan Davis in the middle. Now, Josh Sweat, I think at this point in his career, he is, kind of in his prime. I think he's going to really have a big year, but there's going to be a rotation here. We have talked about the edge rushers, what we have here, And I think, Brandon Graham coming back, Derek Barnett getting re-signed as a depth piece, Teron Jackson, Matt Leo trying to make it off that international players program. I think we kind of know what we have here. And I really feel that, with that rotation, it's key. But those interior D linemen, when they feast on people, that opens it up for guys like Sweat, Graham, Barnett, and Jackson to go feast. So really excited about the edge rusher position. And I think we've explained this since last year, so I can't stress it enough. Having Jordan Davis in the anchor, man, right there in the middle, that makes Cox better, makes Hargrave better. They get to flourish. And then the guys outside, man. So best of luck to offenses and offensive lines and tight ends around the league, running backs. Best of luck to you. But we're going to keep this train moving. Those edge rushers aren't the only guys. And there is a specific category just for the strong side guys, the Sam linebackers, because we've talked about how important all damn offseason it was to add a Sam linebacker. We had to have, especially Hassan Reddick, right? We talked specifically about him because he was quite the upgrade over Jannard Avery, but he fit exactly what Jonathan Gannon was trying to do as a rusher that can drop into coverage. I think he is, I can't wait to see what he does. And, he's had a very interesting career, really struggled with the Cardinals where he was picked. And in Carolina, I thought he did really well, but he did have his struggles, in some games there. But I think in this defense, the way he's going to be used, this is going to be finally the correct way someone's going to use him. I know that in Arizona, they try to use him as an inside linebacker. Not a fan of that too much, but he's very athletic, so I get it. But then in Carolina, he's a defensive end. Totally get that, but he's not, and no knock on him. I love this dude, but not exactly the strongest dude. I think the way that Jonathan Gannon's going to use him, like I talk about that 7 technique outside of the tight ends, I think he's going to flourish there. I think he's going to do much better than he has in the past. I think this is going to be a career year for him. So very excited to have him on the Philadelphia Eagles. But last year, all we had behind Jannard Avery was Patrick Johnson. So they brought in some competition. We talked about how excited I am about Kyron Johnson. That 4.4 speed, played defensive end last couple years in Kansas, but he started as an inside linebacker. So this guy has that same damn skill set as Hassan Reddick. So you have somebody that I think is really exciting, and I can't wait to see him get some snaps. It's going to be hard to take him from Hassan, but really excited about him. I definitely think he makes his team. We're going to talk about that, a little bit more here. But Ali Fayyad, another versatile guy. These guys are specific positions, and I try to explain this. People always try arguing with me, and I never want to argue. I just want to try to show people what is actually going on because there's so much misinformation. But I think that, having a specific skill set for this Sam linebacker spot told you exactly what you needed last year. We didn't have it in Avery. We knew what they had to go after this year. They did just that. So, oh, man, I'm really effing excited about this defense. I can't lie to you. I think this is going to be a good year, ladies and gentlemen. I really think so. My man, Drew, in the building. Nice to see you. I was talking about you earlier, man. Hoping to see you. Glad you're here. Appreciate the welcoming. I'm happy to be back. So let's keep it rolling. You know it, dude. Let's go. Hope your vacation, dude, it was awesome. I was talking about that earlier. Had a great time. Appreciate you asking, my man. But I was excited to get back here and talk some birds because I knew training camp is right around the corner. So I'm glad I got that vacation in when I did. I really am. I needed it. So how can you be bigger than Fletcher? I know. And that picture of them standing next to each other, this dude's a monster. He's really a monster. I can't wait. Do I expect to see Jordan Davis have reps in 4.3 much this year or mostly pure nose? No, I was mentioning that earlier because, that's one of the things. Depending on what technique you're running, what, formation of that scheme you have. You could be running an under or an eagle or an okie. And that is just really the techniques of where they're lining up. Under just means the nose tackles go into the shoulder of the center rather than line up in front of them. So it's just little things, you know what I mean? And I try to give as much information about that stuff as I can to you guys. And, Jordan Davis, he's going to flourish as that nose tackle in the 3-4. But yeah, he could totally play defensive tackle. But I think if you're going to go into those sets, more into a passing set, you'll move into that nickel, the regular base, not 3-3-5. But you'll have guys like Cox and Hargrave who are just fine. Milton Williams, so you've got depth. You can keep Jordan Davis for plugging the run. And it's not just plugging the run, but that's the base formation. So he will be a starter. So why would you draft him? No, he's going to be used a lot. And I'm not saying you're saying that, but you hear a lot of that. And all these guys are going to get a lot of reps. That's why I try to break all of the different schemes down so you can see where guys are going to get their play. So we'll see. New nickname for Derek Burnett. Guess what I call him? Oh, geez. I'm hoping he's going to flourish, though, man, as a depth piece, not a starter, really. High on Kyron Johnson making the roster. Son Reddick's backup. Yeah, that's what I've been talking about, JC, for a long time, man. That's what I was just saying right there. So, yep, that's definitely when we drafted him. You guys heard me talk about that. If you missed that video, go check it out right after we drafted him. Very excited about the pick because he fits that Sam linebacker role. So, yes, I'm very excited. Cannot wait. The penalty machine. Good one, but not quite, honestly. But, yeah, he's Mr. Penalty. There you go. See? But no, yeah, exactly. Mine was boring too, but that's, yeah. But I think he'll flourish here. Again, a depth piece. He gets to be Michael Bennett, and Chris Long is Brandon Graham. So you've got guys that are depth pieces that I think I'm really excited about, man, because all those guys aren't just, playing at the same time. You've got essentially Hassan Reddick as your other defensive end and your Sam linebacker. But I try to show that, so I hope you guys understood that. And I hope that you definitely got something from that, man. And if you don't understand something, this is what we're here for. I'm not here to try to act like I'm better than anyone. I just try to relay what I know, what I understand, and hope you guys enjoy it and take something from it. If you ever have questions, don't be embarrassed or, dude, this is information that nut jobs know. Only like people that are really into it should know this stuff. So, and it's not to say you're not into it. I never want to turn people away. I don't just know how to say it, but it's like, I love the game. And if you're like me, then this is the right place for you. And I try to learn stuff from you guys. If you know something I don't, it's like, I'm always all about the birds. That's all I want. That's all I ever want. So I'm just happy you guys are here, and I hope you guys get something from it. So I appreciate you, Randall, and I'm glad that you are taking in some knowledge there. But those strong side linebackers, and look, the strong side, all that means is they're lined up with the strong side, which is where the tight end is or where the most people are. That's your strong side. So your weak side, your will linebackers, those are your guys that are usually more versatile, more of your coverage guys. So Kaiser White can play will. Nakobe Dean can play will. They can play middle linebacker. So we talk about that versatility when we signed them, drafted them, talked about them when we talked about those other schemes. But always here just trying to explain that and why it was so important to get these guys and why it's going to be so beneficial to the Eagles defense. But we'll move it on to the actual linebackers here, the guys who can play inside linebackers, and they can dabble a lot with the versatility. We'll talk about that here in a second. But we've got some guys competing here, and I'm excited because we've got some damn depth and competition at the linebacker position for once. Thank you, for the love of God. So excited about it is an understatement. But you've got Kaiser and Nakobe here, and as I said, they're going to be predominantly getting the snaps because we're predominantly going to be in odd fronts, and you're going to see two middle linebackers, the inside linebackers. So you've got Dean, you've got White, but when you have 4-3, you can throw Edwards in as that strong side guy if you're trying to stop the run. You can put him in the middle if you want to stop a certain gap. You can do so many things there. So love that. But we talk about Davion Taylor. I still think this team has hope for him. And now that you've actually got Dean and White, you don't have to rely on Davion Taylor. He can be that depth piece, and he can be a special teams ace. So I love that. But you've got other guys like Sean Bradley. Love his special teams capability. Love what he does when he's able to come in and play linebackers. So going to be some competition there. But Christian Ellis, Jacoby Stevens on the outside looking in. Ellis, that is Noah Ellis' brother, actually. So that's pretty cool. The brothers getting to play together. So best of luck to them. But Eagles got some pretty nice competition all across the board. So you see all of the guys at, all of the front seven positions, and you see the versatility. You see where these other guys can play, and that's why I'm so damn excited about this team. So I hope others are getting excited, but we do have to talk about who really is on the bubble. And, with adding so much depth, there really is guys that are on the bubble for once, when the whole damn team was on the bubble before, so it's like, God damn. Yo, my man AK in the building. Nice to see you, my man. Just got back from vacation myself, so I had a nice week off, but we're rocking and rolling here, talking birds. We're going through the defense. Secondary's coming up rest of the weekend, and then it's training camp next week. So excited as hell. Hope you're doing well. Nice to see you, my man. So thank you for tuning in. I am for the people. That's always been my motto, a man of the people, for the people. And it's the truth, man. I'm just out here trying to give you guys what I always wanted. And it's like, dude, I was on my deathbed. I was like, you know what? Let's start doing something cool. So glad you like it, dude. Left side, strong side. Love that. Well, it depends. I mean, a lot of the times people think of that as a strong side, but that's why I made it on the other side, because it doesn't matter. It's wherever the tight end lines up. So, yeah, man, Kaiser, let's go. I'm very excited about Kaiser White. That was a guy I talked about extensively throughout free agency. So pumped to get him. Very young and very exciting, right? So you've got a guy. We talked about why it was so important to add a free agent linebacker in Kaiser White, and then why to draft either Nakobe Dean or Devin Lloyd to learn from Kaiser White. And then we ended up signing him and drafting Nakobe Dean. So I'm beyond excited about it, man. And I think Nakobe getting to learn from Kaiser is going to be huge, man. So I'm very, very pumped about this D. People don't understand the upgrade. Yeah, man. Be extremely versatile. Yeah, we talk about he and Dean, how they can stop the run and the pass. So love it. Sean Bradley, love him in special teams. Yeah, we're going to talk about him in a second here. You see him pictured. I like my reply one time, so I'm honored. That's awesome, man. Yeah, and I like Sean Bradley, man. He's a cool dude. So hoping he can make the team. Only Eagles player would like retweeting my reply. Yeah. Well, hey, man, just keep posting cool stuff and maybe you'll get it. Had faith in Marcus Epps and any other player. Yeah, I like Marcus Epps. He'll definitely be competing, as we talked about earlier. It's going to be hard to cut TJ Edwards, only 25, and I feel it's only improved. Yeah, no, they're not going to be cutting TJ Edwards. He's definitely going to see his fair share of snaps. So let's talk about who is on the bubble here. It looks like you guys are getting antsy for it. So let's talk about these guys. First up, let me toss out the defensive linemen. I think Teron Jackson makes this team. I really do think he is that fourth defensive end guy there, but that is not to say he is just going to be handed this position. So I did toss him on there, but he and Matt Leo definitely have to duke it out. Maybe Matt Leo at 6'7" comes out of nowhere and wins that job. So I can't just give it to him. I want to see him earn that job, but I'd really like Teron Jackson, and I think he will make the squad. But that's just who I have on the bubble here. Now, when it comes to defensive tackles, we talked about Noah Ellis providing that depth for Jordan Davis. You love to see that. But you got guys like Tua Pelotu, Ren, and Marvin Wilson on the outside looking in, trying to make the roster here. So got some guys on the bubble there from the D tackles, nose tackles, and the defensive end outside linebackers. Now on to the linebackers when it comes to the strong side, the inside linebackers. The strong side guys will not be on here, but you got the weak side, the inside, middle of guys. So Sean Bradley, I think he makes this roster. I'm hoping he does, but this one was really tough for me. I really think Sean Bradley providing that special teams, it's great, but Davian Taylor now becomes that depth piece because of everything else. But we're going to talk about that in a second. But these are the guys that think are on the bubble. We obviously talked about Stevens and Ellis there duking it out. But Patrick Johnson, Kyron Johnson, and Ali Fayyad, who wants to be Hassan Reddick's backup? So these three have to duke it out. And I've already explained many a time, I think Kyron Johnson is definitely the backup. But the question for me is, does Patrick Johnson find his way on this roster? I'm not sure that he does, but he really stepped in well as a rookie last year. And I think, there's going to be competition. So I can't just give it to Kyron Johnson because I like him so much. So I threw him up there anyway. The same goes for Sean Bradley. Might like you, but doesn't mean you don't have, you might not get cut. So look, we're going to see when training camp begins. We're going to see in preseason, and then we'll further evaluate and talk about it then. But this is for now. So now let's talk about the projected depth chart, and you're going to see pretty much who I think is going to make this roster right now. So we're going to go through first interior defensive linemen. I talked about Jordan Davis. I think he's going to be the only nose tackle we need. I talked about if you need to spell him, you've got Milton Williams. You've got Hargrave Cox. You can rotate these guys and do so many fun things with odd and even fronts. So, yeah, I think those are the four guys that make it there, and I'm excited as hell about that. Then when you get to the edge rushers, you look at Josh Sweat, Brandon Graham, then Derek Barnett and Teron Jackson as depth. Brandon Graham doesn't even have to be a starter. We talked about this, Sweat lining on the other side across from, Hassan Reddick. That's going to be huge. And then you've got those other guys as depth. So on the other side, think of that as one side of the defensive end or outside linebacker. And then on the other side, I think you only keep two of these guys. And I think it's going to be Hassan Reddick and Kyron Johnson. So very, very pumped about what Kyron can do, but not sure he's going to get to see too much because I think Hassan Reddick is going to destroy people this year. I think he is going to fit perfectly into what Jonathan Gannon is trying to do here, and I can't wait to see it. Now, when it comes to linebacker, like I said, this was tough, but I just really didn't want to get rid of Sean Bradley, and I really think that Davian Taylor, this coaching staff knows his abilities, dude, and what he's capable of, and I think as a special teamer and as depth, as a guy that can cover, I think that's huge. You got to have depth in this league. It's great to have good starters, but you never know what could happen. So TJ Edwards, Sean Bradley, not the greatest in coverage. So you got a guy like Davian Taylor. I totally understand it. So I think he definitely makes this roster. But the other linebackers, holy hell, ladies and gentlemen, that to me gets me pretty damn excited. So when you're hearing people talk about, Fletcher Cox isn't going to start, Jordan Davis is, or Josh Sweat over Brandon Graham, or Epps over Tar, it doesn't matter. It doesn't. These guys are all versatile, and we have guys in the NFL, man. People don't play every snap unless you're Malcolm Jenkins, these freaks of nature who come out here as Iron Men, and you love to see it, and it's very few and far between anymore. But if you have great depth, you never know what's going to happen. You have injuries, it's beautiful. But the way this defense is built, we had to add specific pieces this offseason, and we did just that. So I'm very excited about it. I can't stress it enough, and I'm hoping you guys got something from this. But, dude, this is going to be the last video. I hope that I have to try to explain the defense the Eagles are running. I think people are going to see in training camp what they're doing, so very excited about it. Maybe one day, yes. I made a Miles Sanders tweet. Hey, man, keep it going, dude. And maybe they will, man. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Miles myself. Tua Pelotu can move around, so he's a better option than Ellis. Well, that's the thing. Noah Ellis is a nose tackle, whereas Marlon Tua Pelotu is not. They tried that last year. That's why he did not see rarely any snaps at all. So got a little special teams work there, but yeah, he doesn't fit the mold. So that's why I say Noah Ellis is a nose tackle and Marlon Tua Pelotu is a defensive tackle, but don't see either of them making the team. Be cautious on buying a Sanders jersey. Yeah, be careful there for sure. You never know. Bradley could have made this Pro Bowl as a special teamer. Yeah, he's a great special teamer, and that's why I kept him on this roster. Bradley is great. Yep, I really think he's going to flourish there. So I think I have him making the roster here. Keeping 5 linebackers, I'm okay with it. Kyron Johnson also loves special teams, which is great. Oh, yeah, all these guys have to be versatile, and that's what we talk about. Every single one of these guys, you have to be able to show out in other places, and that's what all these guys can do. So very excited about it. Yeah, that will suck if he does leave. I would not. I'm a big fan of him, man. Kyron might make it because special teams ability. Oh, yeah, and that 4.4 speed, man, and being someone that fits the mold, just like Hassan Reddick, is going to help him immensely. Might keep 7 again. Yeah, and it does come down to 7 in people's minds. So it's going to be the 2 I mentioned in Hassan Reddick and Kyron Johnson as sand linebackers, and then those 5 you just saw. In my opinion, that's who I have making it. So, yeah. TJ Edwards was great at extremely high in zone coverage, but this man coverage is questionable. Meanwhile, Bradley is predominantly a cover guy. Yeah, man. But TJ Edwards isn't going to be needed to cover. He's going to be run stopping. But yeah, Bradley definitely he's going to be a backup. Edwards is going to be a backup, but he's going to see his fair share of snaps because he's great against the run. And we are going to run predominantly zone again this year. That is, we didn't run much man at all, so it's okay that he struggles there, but we're not going to need him to do that. That's what Kaiser White and Kobe Dean are for. That's why we stress adding nickel linebackers to this team. Marlon didn't play because he dealt with too many injuries. There was a nose tackle. Yeah, he played nose tackle at USC, but so did Rennell Wren, Marvin Wilson at Florida State, but that's in college. When you're talking about the NFL, it's a much different game. So that's why he didn't get any time. It was not due to injury, but he definitely is going to try to prove that he can, and actually you guys know that I'm close with a lot of these people that work with these guys, and Marlon is one of those people. And I had asked him questions. Hope I'm not going too far with what I'm telling you here, but I had asked if he was trying to put on any weight so that he could try to get that nose tackle roll down. And that's not the case. So looks like he wants to try to, play that defensive tackle role that we talk about replacing Fletcher Cox next year. So he's definitely going to try to compete, but I don't think, if he could try to prove he could be something in nose tackle, he would have already done it and we wouldn't have struggled so mightily. But I'm hoping this year maybe he could do something. He could provide some kind of depth, because if you have a guy that could at least fill in if you need it for Jordan Davis, you get it. You stash him on like Noah Ellis on the practice squad. Maybe if he's needed, you bring him up. So there's a lot to it and a lot we've already broke down, but I'm trying to just make it as quick as I can, and it's not working. Try not to repeat what I say, but I know a lot of you guys miss that stuff. So always happy to talk about it. Great questions, great comments from all of you guys. I truly appreciate the hell out of you. And yes, if you enjoyed this content tonight, do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. If you turn that notification bell, you'll be live with us next time, talking some birds. If you're watching this later, I appreciate you taking the time whenever the hell it is. But you guys, your support, it means the world to me. A lot of you guys reached out during my vacation. I appreciate it, man. It means the world to me. And I definitely always try to stay on top of things no matter what I'm doing. So let's rock and roll. I'm here. I'm ready to go. This weekend, we're going to be talking about corners. We're talking about safeties. Then I'm going through the top 10 matchups to keep your eyes on this training camp. And then Tuesday, it's going to be training camp. I can't believe it. I'm beyond excited. So if you guys have any questions, comments, you want to talk about anything, you can always reach out to me. But I just appreciate you guys taking the time, especially on a damn Friday night, to spend it with me. It means the world to me. Saddest part is when I appreciate you, man. And you can always go back and check and if you're looking for a laugh, you can check out the beginning videos when I was like really sickly looking and still learning my ways. But I appreciate you, man. And I'll definitely see you next time. You guys ever need anything, I always tell you, you can reach out. I appreciate the hell out of you. Great question, King Petty. I think, Jonathan Gannon gets a lot of slack, and I think he got a lot of slack last year. And I talked about, okay, it's a lack of personnel, but why are you running certain schemes if you lack that personnel? Specifically a nose tackle, a Sam linebacker in Jannard Avery that's not Hassan Reddick. A lot of question marks as to what he was doing, but I think he was trying to figure out if his schemes worked, right? So I think now we talk about how could Jonathan Gannon succeed? Well, I gave you guys that blueprint by adding Jordan Davis, Hassan Reddick, Kaiser White, Nakobe Dean or Devin Lloyd, James Bradbury, Jaquise Guitart. Well, we got every single one of those guys. So I think Jonathan Gannon is going to have a phenomenal season, and it's going to be his last season with the Philadelphia Eagles. I think he'll be a head coach next year. People didn't understand why teams were reaching out to him this year, but the guy's a genius. And look, we just had some really crappy players trying to do things that they just don't have the skill set to do. Now they've got players that have certain skill sets you need to run certain schemes. Very excited about it. King Petty, I appreciate the hell out of you. JC Knight, my man, all of you guys. I appreciate every single one of you that tuned in. Drew, missed all of you guys, but we're back and training camp is coming. So I cannot wait. Back on Twitter, hating on the Cowboys. Hey, always hating on the Cowboys. There's always time for the Cowboys. The kid was rocking the Dallas sucks. I don't know if you guys saw that one on Twitter, but always letting everyone know. Always. So I love it, man. I appreciate all of you guys for taking the time. No laughing at that. Everyone needs to start somewhere. What do you mean? Laughing about what? And look, man, everybody. I got you. And look, yeah, man. And it was rough health-wise, too, at the beginning. But, yeah, exactly. And never, you got to laugh at yourself is all I try to do. But you're right, man. Everybody starts somewhere, and you got to build up and learn from that and make connections and do what you can. And that's, dude, it's been a long process. I've had a lot of things taken from me, a lot of ideas, a lot of people making it to certain places with my content. And all that tells me, though, is I'm not a whiner like that. It's like I must have the right stuff. If my stuff makes it to the top, I have to come along with it eventually, right? So that's the hope and dream, and we're going to keep fighting for it, man. So I appreciate you guys, and I can't do it without you. So thank you guys for liking, subscribing, retweeting, sharing, whatever you're doing. I appreciate you. Some of you guys are going out of your way, sharing the links to the YouTube. I can't thank you enough. It really means the world to me. So thank you guys. Hope your weekend's off to a great start. Hope you're ready for all the content this damn weekend. It's going to be awesome. I'm pumped. People talk about how many wide receivers we had. We did just have 13. Cut Craig James, so we've got 12 now. But dude, a lot of competition to go around. And the corners, it's one of my most exciting positions to talk about. This one was fun. A lot of work to do, but really enjoyed it. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I think JG evaluating last year's roster for this year's scheme. Exactly. And that's exactly what we talked about. That's a great point, JC. So you got to see who you need, where you need it. And that's what we did, right? We looked at it and said, dear God, give us Jordan Davis. Give us Hassan Reddick. He fits the mold exactly what he's trying to do at Sam linebacker. Give us Kaiser White and then a young guy in either Nakobe Dean or Devin Lloyd. I didn't care which one, but let them learn from Kaiser. But you got both guys can play because they can stop the run and cover. So you've got two nickel linebackers. I'm beyond excited. So I hope you guys enjoyed all of this. I'll show the schemes here in a second, just in case anybody missed it. Biggest X factor for the defense. Sophomore rookie players do. Yeah, man. And I think, it was his first year as a D coordinator. People miss out on that. He learned a lot too. So I'm very excited to see what he does and those players that know his scheme and help the younger guys learn it too. So what I said too, it's not possible without your subs. So everyone who supports me, yo, man, appreciate the hell out of you. And I appreciate you for subscribing. I definitely threw one back at you right away. So I appreciate you, man. Might not have he's going to be a death piece, but he might be on the way out if he doesn't step it up, man. Andre Sacheret is somebody I really, really like. So we're going to talk about him when we talk about the secondary. So, yeah, I hope you guys are excited because the content is back, baby. I'm back. The vacation was awesome. I appreciate all of you that reached out. I really do. But I'll show you these schemes one last time, and I'm just going to show you here. This is, I think, 41% of the time we ran the nickel package. And like I said, last year we had to do that because of lack of personnel. Now, we predominantly ran odd fronts over 50% of the time. And the package we ran the most was this 335. So now with the new pieces, woo, that nickel 3-3 is going to be very exciting. But our base package, which the 3-3 was 28% of the time, I believe, and the 3-4 was 22% of the time. I think you're going to see those numbers fly up because of Jordan Davis, because of Hassan Reddick, because of having the right personnel, and then Kaiser White and Nakobe Dean having the right linebackers there. Love Alex Singleton. Wish you the best, but you and TJ Edwards were not the answer. Davian Taylor came in, was doing well, got hurt. He's going to provide great depth, special teamer, all that stuff. So this defense, ladies and gentlemen, I hope it gets you as excited as it does me. But we'll be talking about the secondary, and I hope that by training camp, people are ready to run through a damn wall. I love Tate Gallen myself. I was very excited when we got him in that Zach Ertz trade. I wanted him in the later rounds in that draft a couple years ago. So I'm pumped up about the secondary. We're definitely going to talk about it, but I got to get rolling here, guys. 3-4 base. Me feeling like you on the beach. You're damn right, except I was a little crispy. That's how the offensive lines are going to feel. You can still see my Irish ass is so red. I'm still peeling. I can see my nose, but dude, my girlfriend is awesome. She lathered me up in all this spray stuff. I was like, you got to do it or I'm just going to have a horrible trip. Because like the first day I was burnt to a crisp. I was like, this is horrible. So feeling a little bit better now, but I learned the hard way. As always, I'm an Irishman. That's what I do. I like to burn myself. So like Singleton, I'm not even joking. You hope he flourished. Yeah, man, he was a great special teamer and backup piece. And that's what he's going to do in Denver. Wishing him nothing but the best. Planning on doing a live stream with any Eagles content creators like Philly 500, Lord Brunson, Philly Mike. I actually did a show with Philly Mike, and I think it was Philly 500, and I believe Joey Shakes as well that have reached out about coming on their show. And yeah, I've told them both. I think it was either 500 or Joey Shakes that had reached out on my vacation. I told him, look, when I get back, definitely. So this weekend, I'll be live with one of them, hopefully. And look, it's just been crazy. I just got home last night. I still have so much stuff. Got to wash all the stuff. It's just, for the love of God, not going to complain to you, but I'm going to get rolling here, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, I love all those guys. Appreciate what they're putting out there. Lord Brunson does a great job too. Dude, I'm always here to share that brotherly love. So going on Philly Mike's show was a great time getting to meet him. You know, I like to be, very crazy on the show, but I'm shy on the internet. I don't know. I don't try to be weird to people, but I'm always happy to meet them and go on their shows and talk with those guys. And, I used to bring on people a lot on my shows, but I just stopped doing it once everybody else was starting to do it. And it's like, I've been trying to get players and things, and I've been working on some things you guys will hopefully see in the very near future. And I hope you're going to enjoy the content, but I try to be different. I just wanted, but those guys are doing a great job. So I'm always happy to jump on their shows, always happy to. So I apologize if you guys are missing any of that. And if you guys think I should be jumping back doing that stuff more, let me know. I'd love to, but I love what those guys are doing. So look, man, I'm just going to keep providing this stuff. Hope that you enjoy it. And as I always say, man, reach out if you need anything, whether you want to talk about birds, life, it does not matter. Always happy to make a new family member here. You guys are awesome. So I can't do this without you. And I appreciate you, man. Love you too. You are the man, JC. Seriously, you have already within, this little amount of time that we've known each other. It's been great getting to know you. You made some great connections for me already. So appreciate the hell out of you, but appreciate the hell out of all of you guys. Hope you're having a great weekend. I hope you stay safe out there. Again, if you need me, feel free to reach out, but this was On the Road to Victory with Jimmy Smith, and I will be back tomorrow, but have a safe Friday night. Reach out if you need me. And as always, come on!